Welcome to Garrick Theatre's manager. No. Guffing magpies. No. Good for nothing middle distance runner. No. Gossipmongers.
Yes.
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 Gossipmongers. Yes. That's the one. That's the baby. Gossipmongers. Bloody right it is. Let's do this. Let's listen to some gossip. Gossip number 1.
Okay, this is from Anonymous. Hi there. All of the below is true, although there is a limited chance you'll believe it. At school, there was a kid who was nicknamed Bungle. He was so called because his hair covered his ears in a 70s style haircut. This was in the 80s or 90s.
No wonder you called him Bungle.
Bungle was freakishly strong and could kick and throw about as hard as Superman. In his school career, he managed to break 13 windows.
His school career.
And would often throw a cricket ball over the 3-storey school building.
Fuck, he can throw.
Bungle.
Bungle. Proper Wally.
There goes Bungle.
Big Wally.
Just throws stuff. Do anything
Big
else.
strong Wally.
Where's that throwing going to take him?
Over the 3-storey school building from one yard to another to demonstrate his strength. This is what I can
Turns
do.
out it was a young Steve Backley.
Don't know who that is.
No one calls him Bungle now.
Bungle Backley.
One very early winter morning, Bungle arrived at school where we'd ordinarily have a kick around before lessons started. This morning the yard was icy, so it resembled an ice rink. Bungle started stamping on the ice at the edge of the yard, breaking it up.
God, he's thick.
I quite fancy it.
Yeah.
I would have fancied him at school.
Yeah.
Without much warning, he then threw a shard of ice into the sky at a seagull.
Of course he fucking did. What else is he going to do?
Bungle, God. Like the James Bond assassin Oddjob. Hitting it from about 30 feet away, breaking its neck, which saw it plummet to the floor. I don't fancy it anymore.
That's put you off.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
changed.
Yeah. Still alive, but with its head facing the wrong way.
What Bungle?
Oh,
Now looking somewhere else.
Yeah.
What can I do now?
What can I throw? What can I throw?
The seagull writhed around the yard in distress. Two of the school's hardest bullies then approached Bungle, showing an unexpected level of compassion and demanded jump on its head to put it out of its misery. Or pick it up and take it to the office.
I'm sure the admin lady will be over the moon with that. Miss,
What can I do with this?
what can I do for you, Bungle? I've got a pigeon with a head pointing the wrong way.
Threw a shard of ice at it.
How did this happen? I stamped on some ice and threw it in the air. What do you think?
God.
Fucking love Bungle. He's won me round.
It's worth pointing out that at this stage that one of the bullies was subject to his own rumour, whereby it's alleged he tried to cut his dad's leg off with a saw. Jesus.
Yeah. So he's not the thickest in the ear then.
Yeah. Oh, God. In the end, the bullies took the seagull to the office where it promptly died. And from what I've heard, Bungle went on to work in the
winning the
silver
Olympic gold.
service.
In silver service.
Hospitality.
Just shows you anyone can turn it around.
Gossip number 2.
This is from Sean. Dear Mongers, this bit of tittle-tattle has been with me for 25 years. and I desperately need to get it out. That's how you want one to start. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Back in the early 90s in rural Hertfordshire, there was a legend of the Dolly Man.
Dolly Man.
I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this one, I think.
The Dolly Man was a strange chap. He appeared both old and young at the same time.
Wow.
Shrivelled and wizened, yet with a boyish gaze.
Oh. I don't like this
I
already.
know exactly what he means.
He had a large dandare and the Mekong swollen head upon which was always perched a tiny blue baseball cap that barely covered his brow, providing neither shade nor warmth. Yes, I digress.
Yeah, just a bit.
The Dolly Man was so named as it was widely believed he had sex with children's dolls.
God.
Oh, thank God you popped the last word on.
Oh, God.
Children's dolls.
He'd been seen many times going to charity shops and bulk purchasing all the second-hand Cabbage Patch dolls. This rumour wasn't just between the kids of the town, though. Many of my friends' parents would warn us to behave lest the Dolly Man get us
God.
and cover our favourite toys with his filthy seed.
Warning from parents.
I think that's bad parenting. Isn't it?
I often behaved as a child, so my Skeletor would escape such a fate. Also, although I suspect He-Man may have enjoyed it. Also, it was rumoured that his tiny baseball cap had been taken from his favourite sex toy, which would explain its small size.
Oh my God, yeah.
The problem with this rumour is that the Dolly Man was a real living person and was an uncle of the notorious Akehurst family. Every small town has one of these families. They had managed to get about 3 large terrace council houses and had illegally knocked them through to create a sort of happy shopper mansion. God, they were all to the man psychopaths. Generation after generation of the town's hardest bastards had come from this rabbit warren. They were all cousins and brothers and sisters, and there were about 1,000 of them. My school year had 3 of them in. Adrian, the biggest, Sean, the craziest, and Glenn, the thickest.
Oh my God.
I don't know who I prefer.
Oh, where's the Dolly Man?
What's happened
Dolly
with
Man?
Left
the
him
Dolly
behind.
Man?
Fucking hell.
Moved on to his family.
And the Dolly Man was their uncle,
Oh,
of which they were fiercely protective. Oh, God.
wow.
Anyone who even mentioned the Dolly Man within earshot was soundly beaten.
Can't even
Rightly
mention
so.
him.
You had to be careful who you made Dolly Man jokes to at school. An enemy may hear you and tell one of the Akehursts who have duffed you up. Then came the day I have kept secret for 25 years.
Oh my God. Not
Yeah.
even at the
No.
the main bit yet.
Wow. This is the main event.
Bloody hell, is that that's the starter?
Yeah. The village fair.
Oh God. Episode 2, yeah.
I was with my friend John, a popular chap at school, as he was the nephew of a famous England footballer.
That would make you popular, wouldn't it?
As we perused the tombolas and splat the rat stalls we saw, the Dolly Man had a stall, pile upon pile of second-hand dollies.
Oh, getting some cash from it. Yeah.
We had to suppress our laughter as flanking the stall like a trio of Rottweilers were Adrian, Glenn and Sean.
Cleanse the thickest, right?
Making a mental note of who was tittering or staring, John dared me to buy a dolly. And after promising to lend me a copy of Razzle he had found in local allotments, if I did, I agreed. I gingerly approached and picked up an innocuous-looking dolly right in front of me. A sort of generic plastic-headed one, but with soft, stuffed body-type affair.
Another one.
I asked how much, and Adrian barked, 50p. That's Adrian for you. The Dolly Man said nothing. And 50p was a vast amount of money to a 12-year-old back then. I could feel the Akehurst taking note of everything I was doing. I made a fast escape with my bounty, so me and John went to the local woods to examine it. Lo and behold, there it was. A small opening in the crotch, the width of a stick of Brighton rock, or a dry wipe board marker. We threw it away whilst pissing ourselves laughing, terrified that the Akehurst would find the dolly in the woods, recognise it was me and John who bought it and hunt us down. Or even worse, the Dolly Man would telepathically know we'd abandoned one of his jizzed-up toy children and reap a terrible revenge. We decided I should take it home and dispose of it privately. I offered it to my whippet as a chew toy, but being a discerning hound, she kept well away. So I threw it in my neighbour's bin. Me and John vowed never to talk about this, lest the Akehurst clan found it. Tragically, John passed away last year, and I am the sole custodian of this gossip, confirmation that the Dolly Man did, in fact, fuck dollies. It's been 25 years, and I think John would have been sad to know that upon my death it was never shared. So please, share the word. P.S.
Wow.
John did lend me his copy of Razzle, and it was disappointing.
Why was it disappointing? I don't understand. Wow.
That's the
Wow.
scariest bit of gossip
it's horror.
ever.
Gossip number 3.
Hi, this is from Jade. In Bristol, there's lots of women who, because of their accent and class, are often called massive slags because they have a lot of sex. This is a rumour about a woman from Bristol with a thick accent and a zest for life. A man on a night out at an all bar one does a dine and dash down Park Street. On his way down, he takes a sneaky shortcut behind the Bristol Hippodrome. It's about 1 a.m. and he sees a man and a woman fornicating. The man behind the woman and the woman in a doggy style. As he tries to sneak past as to not disturb them, he hears the woman say to the man in a West Country accent, "Changing lanes, are we? Fair play." Oh, dear.
Gossip number 4.
It was 8 years ago now. I was 33 and working as a night security guard in a city centre apartment block. It was fairly high-end and one of the tallest buildings in the city, standing at about 40 floors. So as a landmark of sorts, it was my job to keep an eye on the comings and goings of the residents and help them to the lifts with their bags. Now, I wasn't too conscientious at the time, so the comings and goings of people sometimes passed me by. One day, the building manager wasn't very happy with me. A video had appeared online in which a small band of urban explorers had gained access to the roof and had had a good old time taking in the views. This had enraged the building manager, who explained that if them little dickheads were to fall to their death, the building would be liable. Not wanting a repeat performance, the manager installed a cage around the roof hatch and the ladder leading up to it. He also installed a CCTV camera that he trained on the hatch. So far, so good. Well, one night I was on duty and passing the time playing games on my phone. It was about 1 a.m. and there wasn't much through traffic in the reception area where I was supposed to sit and guard the door. I glanced up from my phone and I could just see the face of a woman in close proximity to the roof hatch camera. She was looking a bit bemused at the cage and roof hatch, so I immediately headed for the lift. From the brief look at her face, I recognised her as a resident. Now, as a resident, she had every right to be in the stairwell, but she was up on the 40th floor, and she lived on floor 27, so had really no business being up there. I decided I wouldn't be confrontational or accuse her of anything untoward. I would simply say, "Are you lost?" The lift reached the top of the building, and I stepped out and into the stairwell. At first, I couldn't see anyone, but then I noticed a light on behind a small fire door. I opened the door, and there, crouched in a ball on the floor, was the lady, naked. Now, I should explain to you that this lady was an absolute stunner. A solid 9 on anyone's scale. She worked in one of those private surgery places, and she had all the trimmings. The boobs, the lips, the bum, the whole 9 yards.
Naked on the floor.
The lips.
So I'm shitting bricks, and my heart is beating like a fucked clock. I panic and just blurt out the first thing that came into my head, which happened to be, "Are you lost?" With that, she looked up and quickly got to her feet. I could see all the goods, and she wasn't shy in covering them up. She wasn't making sense in what she was saying, and began talking batshit crazy. "Oh, my hero, thank heavens you're here. I couldn't find anyone. I thought they'd all been eaten by vampires or taken by aliens." Off her bonnet. "No," I said. "Everyone's fine. Let's just get you back in your apartment." To my credit, an eternal regret, I walked ahead as we decided to use the stairwell to avoid a lift ride in which another resident may catch the same lift. Like I said, I kept walking ahead, but she kept babbling about aliens and how much I was her hero, so I had to keep turning to calm her down.
Did you?
Now I was a few steps below, and I'm just under 6'2". She was a few steps above and about 5'6". So when I turned, I was roughly tit and or trimmed lady garden height, and was finding it more and more difficult to maintain eye contact as the frisson of the situation was quickly causing my body to betray me. We got to her floor, but of course had no keys, and the doors were the heavy type that closed and locked behind you. It was a shared landing, and her partner was asleep inside, apparently not aware of this developing situation. I reasoned with her that I should go ahead and knock fuck out the door in order to wake her partner up, but she should hang back in case any disgruntled neighbours were woken in the process. She agreed, and I walked into the shared lobby and proceeded to bang on the door. After some minutes, I could hear movement inside, and I motioned to the lady, who raced past me and in through the door as it was opened by a sleepy partner. He looked at me as if an explanation was in order, and I said, "I'll leave you both to it," before jumping in the lift and making my escape. It was about 10 minutes later when her partner came down to reception wearing just his jeans and said, "Listen, mate, can you please tell me why I've just opened the door to you with my girlfriend naked in the hallway?" I said, "Hasn't she explained?" He said, "No, she fucking hasn't." I asked her what the fuck was going on, and she attacked me.
She seems nice.
I said, "I'm sorry, but I found her in the stairwell and assumed she was sleepwalking." He scratched his head and went back upstairs. The next day he came to the desk very apologetic. She was indeed sleepwalking and had never done it before. She came to the desk later on and apologised too. Believe me, none of that was necessary. Her parting comment was, "The girls in work won't believe this." Ooh, the little gossip.
That's so weird.
I don't know what that is.
I liked it. I was in a film in my head.
I'll be honest with you. I'm glad she was a belter.
Yeah.
That's what kind of kept me interested. If she hadn't been, I was painting all sorts of pictures of that stairwell. My word, Lorraine Kelly popped in a couple of times.
Oh, flipping hell.
Jay liked that one.
Yeah.
Really liked it.
Yeah.
She just was a very nice...
Yeah.
Keeps going on about it.
Gossip number 5.
A friend of mine told me a story about a couple of very bad incidents in a short space of time. Apparently my friend and his mates had all been on an all-day drinking session. One of the group, Stu, suffered the effects of drinking above the weekly recommended units of alcohol in the space of 8 hours, far more than the others. Stu was starting to flag as they approached the witching hour. Numerous pints and later shots of Sambuca had caught up with him. It was clear he was close to being sick. So Stu ran into the gents and without thinking smashed straight into the nearest cubicle. He violently vomited into what he thought was an empty toilet basin. In his blind, drunken, sick haze, Stu had failed to spot the cubicle had a bloke sitting on the toilet, pants around his ankles in the usual way.
Why are you being sick on me?
Stu's act had meant the bloke was no longer minding his own business and his legs and chest were now covered in Stu's stomach lining. But worse was to follow. Fearing the repercussions that his sickness shower would have, Stu, again very hastily, punched the already startled shitter in the face.
Yeah, it's a
What,
good
you-
way of dealing with it.
He threw up on him and then punched him.
Yeah.
Went on the attack. Yeah.
Funny.
That is funny. He ran out the toilets, not even bothering to clean himself up or wash his hands. When he approached my mate and arrived back to the group of lads, he mouthed, "We need to leave."
God, you're having a shit. And then suddenly,
Well, that couldn't get any worse. Oh, as it can. Wallop. When he recounted the story on the way home, my mate asked why on earth he didn't see poor unfortunate shitter, and still worse, why the fuck did he punch the guy? His response was strangely logical. He thought that having spewed all over the stranger, he would be in line for a smacking, so he merely got the first punch in. I really feel for the shitting guy. It was bad enough he was having a poo in the middle of a dirty nightclub, but imagine being sick on and then punched in the face for good measure. I'm not sure how he explained either event to his friends, or if he just took himself home and never spoke of it again. As for Stu, he still can't hold his drink, and he still is a bellend.
Gossip number 6. Celebrity. Carl Donnelly.
Hi Poppy, David, Joe, Carl Donnelly here. Massive fan of the show. I've got some lovely celebrity gossip for you. I think you're going to have to get your beepers out because this is probably in the region of stuff that would get you sued. Or get me sued. I don't know how it works. It's your podcast. I suppose you'd get the legal action. But I'm going to say the names and you can do the work in the edit. I've heard that well-known TV presenter, he apparently has quite a niche sexual preference, which is he regularly goes to a long-term sex worker / friend. You know, this is one person he's been seeing for years, and he goes round once a week, once a fortnight, brings a bag of compost, and they probably put a plastic sheet down over the bed. They put the compost on the bed, and then they have an absolute, session on the compost. I don't know how true it is, but I was told it by somebody who works in the TV world and has worked on shows with this aforementioned person. It's a bit of fun, isn't it? Oh, I also once had pays men to hide in the bushes of the grounds of his house, goes for like midnight strolls, and they've been paid to jump out and bum him as a surprise. But, you know, that's another one. That one sounds less... That sounds about the same level of truth, really, doesn't it? Hope you enjoyed them. Bye!
Gossip number 7.
Right, this is from Anonymous. Hello there, this is a story I heard whilst I was still living in Cornwall a few years ago. That's not important, but I typed it anyway. Apparently, a load of surfers once scored a shit ton of drugs and spent the entire summer getting high and generally being pricks.
Someone doesn't like surfers.
Months passed, and at the end of the summer they had a final party. The only drugs they had left was the LSD, and they decided not to bother. Wise, apart from Dave. Dave decided to eat a lot of LSD. Understandably, Dave's friends decided to leave Dave alone and get shitted down the pub. Hours later, they meandered home and got back to their house. Upon arriving, they were met with a very confusing situation. The back door was open, there were footprints, twigs, branches, and a general sense of chaos. It didn't look right. Upon entering the lounge, they spotted Dave rocking in the corner. He was off his mash pipes and looked in a bad way. He kept mumbling something and shaking his head, but no one could work out what he was saying. After a few hours, most of the group got bored and went to bed.
Lack of care for their friend.
A few less sociopathic types decided to make sure Dave was all right. After a while, Dave started to talk about aliens.
Oh, yes.
The remaining chaps tried to talk him down and remind him aliens do not walk amongst us. I knew you'd say that. That's why I brought one of them home.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Dave then pointed to the cupboard under the stairs
Oh, God.
where they saw a broom against the door.
Has he locked the alien in
I
it?
think so.
They're not very strong aliens, are they?
Dave, what the fuck are you talking about? There's one in there. I brought one home.
Oh, my God.
The remaining chaps, slightly confused, approached the cupboard. They moved the broom and opened the door. Now, it's at this point, I must point out, it's dark, okay? It's a rumour, but fuck, it's dark. Oh, God. Okay.
I would be
God.
shitting it. I would be shitting
Okay.
Oh, God.
Okay, right, okay, I've read the next line. Okay.
I don't know.
it. Well, I'm not.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Do you know what? I remember hearing a similar rumour that was like an internet rumour that was
Oh, you don't
not,
think...
but not too much like this. Like, this has got more detail in. I don't know what you could say.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we made a decision here at Gossipmongers Towers to not reveal any more of this rumour. It is way too disturbing for your ears. Please know we thought long and hard about this decision. Thank you for your understanding. Gossip number 8.
This is from Andy. This is a story about Martin. He took a job as a night security guard in the building where I work, the day shift. Martin was originally from Ireland, but he'd spent some time working in London more recently. I interviewed him and he appeared to be very suitable for the job. He could quote chapter and verse about data protection laws and would talk at length about his previous jobs in arenas in the south.
Is this like the dullest man on earth?
Where he'd been responsible for the safety of thousands of people.
Yes, he is.
When he spoke, he always spoke very flamboyantly in his sing-song lilt and was always gesturing furiously with his hands and was really quite comical to watch. The building we work in is a rather sleepy old building where not much happens at night and most of your time is spent searching for leaks or other such things. Martin quickly became bored, and I heard talk from others that he considered the job beneath him for a person of such skills.
Fucking nothing's happening in this. I'm laughing.
One night, the maintenance guy had asked me to please get Martin to check the roof plant rooms for leaks, as there had been some heavy rainfall this day.
Is this really boring?
And being at the top of the buildings, these rooms invariably suffered. I explained to Martin that this would require walking on the flat roof and asked if he was okay with that. He replied that he was. The next day, I came in from my shift, and Martin was all smiles, and I was greeted warmly as I got prepared. "Oh, Andy," he said, "you'll never believe what happened. I was up on the roof. Oh, the views, they're just terrific." And I turned a corner, and there in front of me, about 10 feet away, was an owl. I froze, I looked at it, and it was staring at me. It was perfectly still, and I raised up my arms, palms outwards, and I said, "I'm not going to hurt you. I mean you no harm." Oh, Andy, it was a beautiful creature. Majestic. It didn't take its eyes off me. And I was all the time looking at it. Oh, Andy, I'm not kidding you. We shared a moment. It recognised me as a friend, and I slowly shuffled back while saying, "I mean you no harm. I mean you no harm." I shuffled away and left him in peace. Martin handed over the paperwork and practically skipped out the door. I hadn't the heart to tell him the owl in question is in fact a plastic bird scarer. The stupid fucking twat.
Oh my god!
I like the fact he left the vile language to the end. The stupid fucking twat.
Needless to say, Martin hasn't been headhunted by the MI5, and the owl is still waiting patiently for another visit from Martin.
Such a good bit of gossip.
How the fuck can he tell it's not real?
I mean you no harm. I mean you no harm.
Don't worry, I'm plastic. It's not a problem.
Just staring at him.
Kick me if you want.
Joe, Poppy and David will now choose their favourite room.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the top 5 of the episode, and then we've got to choose which one we want to go for.
Can't remember any.
And
I can't.
yeah. So have you got your pens and paper?
Yep.
Okay. Number 1, Alien in the Cupboard.
Alien in the cupboard.
Oh,
that?
yeah, the one we had to not use the
Alien
end.
in the Cupboard.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
not the without the end.
Yeah.
Number
yeah.
2, Martin and the Plastic Owl.
He's in the running.
Number 3, the Dolly Man.
Oh yeah.
Number 4, the Security Guard and the Belter.
Belter.
Number 5, Bungle.
Oh, yes.
I'm torn.
Right, I'll just go through them again. Number 1, Alien in the Cupboard. Number 2, Martin and the Plastic Owl. Number 3, the Dolly Man. Number 4, the Security Guard and the Belter. And number 5, Bungle.
I very much enjoyed the names of those ones. What's the Belter one?
Security Guard and the Belter.
And the
Security
Belter.
Guard and the Belter.
Disney film.
Always on at Christmas.
I've got it on VHS, DVD and Netflix.
Oh dear. Right.
I'm really
we ready?
Yeah. I'm really
chosen.
We're going to reveal at the same time.
Yeah.
So reveal and shout, yeah?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Bungle!
Dolly Man.
Martin and the Owl.
Oh,
shit!
what are we going to do?
Oh god!
What do we do?
I don't know what
We've
to
never
do.
had this.
This has never happened
Well,
before.
you've written it the biggest. Does that
How
count?
should we do it?
I don't know. I knew I was stuck
Let's do
between
our top
all
2
of them.
quickly, and then
Okay.
choose which one
Well-
gets picked.
Okay.
Well, right. Okay. Wow, never had. We've
Yeah.
never had 3 different. Wow, I can't remember what you said. Okay.
I'm really, really.
Alien in the
stuck.
Cupboard. Martin and the Plastic Owl.
Right.
Have you done yours, Poppy?
Yeah.
Ready? So
Okay.
we're shouting out second place.
Just
yeah?
show what we've got.
Yeah, we're going
Well,
to.
just both of them.
Oh, right, okay, so ready? 1, 2,
2,
3.
3.
Dolly
Barton
Man.
and the Owl.
Dolly Man.
It's got to be Dolly Man.
Dolly Man.
3 Dolly Mans in
3
second
Dolly
place.
Mans.
Okay,
So you got
okay.
first place and 2 second
Yeah.
places.
Dolly
Okay.
Man.
Oh, wow,
God.
wow.
Oh, God.
Right,
Has
open
Dolly
the
Man
window.
won? Does that mean... Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, you have to shut. Open the window. Let's get spreading.
Really concise.
Yeah.
Get to the point.
Oh, God.
For the listeners,
Oh,
because we
God.
have 2 minutes before we're being kicked out.
All right, here we go.
Ready to go.
Right,
Go, go.
window open.
How many people out there, Poppy?
20. Oh, God. There was a man collects dolls,
Oh, yeah, I'd forgotten that bit.
probably shagging them.
Almost
and,
definitely.
Running a thing at a fair, and the guy comes along, and there's also a family called. Can you remind me the name?
The Acasts.
The
Akehurst.
Akehursts.
The Acasters.
Acasts. Acasts.
Akehursts.
Akehurst.
Akehursts. And there was a thick one.
Glenn.
Glenn, the thickest one. And 2 others, can't remember, strongest and
Maddest.
yeah, maddest. And they took a doll someone bought a doll from a fair,
She's losing focus.
took it into the woods, and it got a little hole in it where he'd been having sex with it. Phil.
Try
I
not
can't
to sound so
remember.
disgusted.
And what? That's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cheers.
that's it. If you're happy with that,
Smashing,
yeah, right.
I feel like I missed half.
Well, maybe, but you know,
Just
that's
release-
Chinese whispers for you.
I'm just glad it's over.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I feel
Dolly
like
Man.
Yeah,
Dolly
you're not-
Man was scary.
You're not happy with how you did there, are you, Poppy?
no,
No, it's all right.
It's all right.
I feel
You-
stressed out, and I don't remember
Well,
the second half. It's
it was
like
quite-
it's been.
It was a long and it went
It was
through.
a- yeah, it was a big story.
There was a lot of side
but I think you
paths.
got the main,
Yeah,
the gist.
He
yeah.
fucks dolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck Dolls has got a weird family. The end.
Yeah. Goodbye.
See ya.
Thank you, everybody, for sending in your gossip.
yeah.
And,
Thank you.
Yeah.
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 Right, should we go?
Bye-bye.
Bye.